your head on my shoulder. Hold me in your arms, baby.
Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Taya Ortega, and if you're new, don't forget to subscribe if you want to see more content. But in today's video, what we're going to be doing, I'm going to show you guys how I edit my pictures for Instagram. So without further ado, let's just hop right into this video. Okay, so the first app we're going to be starting with is Perfect 365, and in this app, I just use this app to like tweak minor things. That's it. So what you're going to click on is tools, and when you click on tools, you want to go to foundation, and then I scroll all the way to the end and I click on the third to last, and I adjust it on the sidebar on how much I want it to be how much I want it to be on there. So then you also could use soften skin and blemishes, but I personally wouldn't use those two because it makes your picture look fake and make you look like a Barbie doll, and it doesn't look realistic. So then what I go to is lips, and then I click on whiten teeth, and I just take it up just a little bit. You don't want to make, like, if your teeth isn't pearly white in real life, you don't want to make your teeth pearly white in your pictures. So then the next thing I go to is eyes, and then I go to I go to circle and I pull it all the way up, and then I go to eyelashes, I go to Ardell, and then I go to the mega volume, and then you can also change your eye colors in this app, but I personally don't do that. Okay, so then when I'm done with Perfect 365, I go to Facetune, and then Facetune, all I do is just tweak like my highlight, and I use the little conceal thing. So what you can see I'm doing right now is I'm going to retouch, and then I go to whiten, and then you want to go over top of whatever highlight you have on. All this does is makes your highlight pop more, because like when you take lighting pictures with like ring lights, it can sometimes flush out everything you've done. So then what I'm going to next is just clean it up a little bit, because you don't want to have it looking, splotchy and all over the place. Just keep everything nice and clean. So right now you can see that I'm going back in, and I'm just cleaning up the little minor details that I might have messed up. Okay, so right here I'm just showing you guys the with it on and with it off, so like before and after you retouch it with the whiten app. So then after I'm done that, I go down and I look for the next thing. So the next thing I'm doing is details. With details, I just run it over, like you just take your finger and like drag your finger over your hair. So the reason I do this is because it makes my hair look, as you can see, it makes my hair look more defined. Like it brings out the curls and stuff. So I'm just still going over like parts that I might have missed. So the next thing I go to is conceal. Now the reason I go to conceal is because I have deep set eyes, so it don't matter how much concealer I put on, you will always see the shape of my whole eyeball. Like you'll see everything. So right here I'm just swinging my finger back and forth in a back and forth motion, and as you can see, it's blurring out the deep setness, so it makes my eyes look flat underneath, which I really like. This is my favorite part of editing my pictures. Okay, so after I'm done doing those little minor changes, I just save the picture to my camera roll, and then I move on to the last and final app. Okay, so before I get into this part, I usually don't use Visco. I usually use the app called Polar, but the app wasn't working today, so I'm going to do the same things I do on Polar on Visco. So basically, Visco gives you all these pre-made filters that you can adjust yourself, but I personally don't like those. So what I do is I go into the detailed settings, and I adjust everything to my personal comfort. So I mess around in exposure a little bit, and I take that down just a little bit. I don't really go down because it'll make your picture look super dark. So then the next thing I go to is contrast, which also I just take it up like a couple of notches. I never really drag it like out the way, and that was me showing you, like, if you do too much contrast, your picture will look really weird. So the next thing I do is I usually sharpen my pictures, but this one was pretty HD, so I didn't. So then the next thing I went to was saturation, and I took saturation up a little bit higher than everything else, simply because when you saturate your pictures, it make it look more lively. So then the next step I'm going to do is go to highlights, and as you can see, what highlights does, it'll wipe out everything you just did. You don't want to mess with that unless that's the theme you're going for. I don't never touch highlights. Sometimes I use shadows and like I'll deepen my shadows up, but not for this picture. So the next thing I do is showing you guys that you can adjust your temperature to what suits your skin tone. So warmer temperatures suit my skin tone. So I usually go down onto the warmer side. I don't really mess with anything else in that part of the app. So then the next thing I do is I go to skin tone. Now, skin tone is like really weird because if you pull it up in one direction, it make you yellow. If you pull it down in the other direction, it make you red. So I don't know the point of that. But I always go to the yellow side because I already look red myself, so I try to tone it down. The next thing is grain. I don't do a lot of grain. People over grain their pictures. Like, it's not that serious. You just need a little bit of grain, sis. You don't need all that grain because it look crazy. So then after that, I went back and sharpened, and I was just trying to mess around with it because I really don't like Visco's sharpen tool. It just doesn't look right. So after I've finished making all my tweaks and stuff, I save my picture. Make sure you always save your picture. Okay, so right here is a before picture, and then here go an after picture. You never want to edit your picture as to where it doesn't even look like you. So as you can see in both pictures, I look exactly the same. I just look more toned. Like you can see, I toned everything and made everything look way better. We'll be doing a part 2 to this using Polar because that was my original plans to use Polar, but Polar is going through an update and it's really super bugged and it just wasn't working for the video. So I will be uploading part 2 sometime soon. And I hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.